Hello guys, I hope you're all well and thank you for joining. So today's paper is the part 2 of the story that I uploaded 2 weeks ago. So you'll find part 1 on the court reporting playlist called Man Stands Trial, Accused of Stealing Multiple Parcels. So we had part 1 of this paper and now we're going to have part 2. So in short, it's a good idea to do part 1 before you do part 2. Otherwise, you're coming in the middle of a story. It could be quite confusing. But in short, it's about a young man who who is accused of stealing multiple parcels. In part 1, the case, it outlined what happened, so what he'd done, the fact he'd been caught on CCTV, that he waited around the building until nobody was there. And part 2 explains why this poor lad, we could say, ended up feeling the need to steal. So he was going through quite a difficult time. It explains what's happened in his life for him to need to steal. So the mitigating circumstances, if you would like. Okay, so we'll get going with a quick quiz on words and groups that will come up in part 2. Okay, we are working at 80 words a minute. I'm only picking out here special outlines and word groupings. You need to learn these for all of your exams, so hopefully this will be useful. Okay, so some of these are quite easy, some more difficult. Number 1 is from. 2 is very. 3 is difficult. 4 is time. 5 is recently. 6 is job. 7 is family. 8 is children. 9 is the word grouping for great deal of. 10 is I am sure you will agree. Number 11 is that these. I feel a bit like a bingo caller saying these numbers. Number 12 is circumstances. 13 is unfortunate. Next we have guilty. They will be able to. Arrange. And the final one is that there. So hopefully you've kept up. I know that I go quite fast. You've got an outline for each word or grouping. Okay, so from, nice easy one, upwards S. The very is a V, again, nice easy one. The difficult is D, downwards F in C, special outline. Time is M on the T line. Got a bit wonky there, sorry. Recently, so recent is just RC, so recently is RCI, recently. Job is J and then B. Family is F inside the M, I, because L and Y becomes I. Children, the way that I write children and the way that the wonderful Joe Goodall writes children is, among many other shorthand tutors, is a C plus E indicator. Okay, in the textbook, if you follow the textbook, you'll see this outline, CHDRN. It's quite a long outline, so I recommend doing the first one, children. Great deal of is a fabulous one. So your R principle or GR blend, we have great. So we omit the R, insert the T becomes a D of deal and add the of. So great deal of. I am sure you will agree. You may have thought, how on earth to put that together? It's so many words. So we have I am SR, U, W alpha will, sharp L, G R E. I am sure you will agree, it looks like. Make sure that you put that sharp L because it joins better to a G. Then we have that these, so we've got T H T H S. Just note the difference between that these, that those, and that this. So with that those, we'd add the O indicator. And with that this, we would angle the H of this in the direction of I indicator. So a little bit clearer, that, this. In the paper today, we have that, these. Circumstances, that's just circs, CRCS, special outline. Unfortunate words begin with on, we've got a disjoint U indicator. So we have disjoint U for on, and we have for to fortunate. Just note, if we had unfortunately, we would add the I to the T there. That's unfortunately. Guilty is just GI, special outline. They will be, we have they will be able to. If you're writing they in this way, that's also okay. You can still add the will be and the able to. Arrange is special, so we have the A and the ang. Just noting this would say, for example, arranged, arrangement, arranging. In today's paper, we have arrange. Well, tonight, should I say, it's getting dark outside now. Last one is that there. So TH, that there. So now it's time to pause, give them a quick drill, and then we're going to have a get this paper. The title is the same as the title for the previous paper that I did 2 weeks ago. So it's the same title, just part 2. So it was called Man Stands Trial, Accused of Stealing Multiple Parcels. So pop the title here. So we have Man Stands Trial. We could group accused of stealing multiple. So multi is M on the T line, the PL goes through, and parcels is PRCLS. So there's your title. Okay, so quick drill title and the full paper, the full 2 minutes, should I say, at 80, and I'll go through all the outlines after. Okay, then. Man stands trial, accused of stealing multiple parcels. Man stands trial, accused of stealing multiple parcels. Man stands trial, accused of stealing multiple parcels. Okay, it's got 2 minutes 8 to give this a go. Hopefully you've drilled all of those outlines. Okay, good luck. Pen's ready. You will hear from the defence how James was going through a very difficult time. He had recently lost his job and was behind on mortgage payments. He has a young family to support, including his wife, who is on long-term sick leave, and 3 children under the age of 5. He was under a great deal of pressure and coming close to losing his house. He has applied for numerous jobs, but has so far had no luck. While I am sure you will agree that these circumstances are unfortunate, This is no excuse for stealing. I hope that you reach a verdict of guilty and set an example to others. All delivery drivers have now been told that they must deliver the parcel to the appropriate apartment and leave a missed delivery card if the person is not home. They will be able to then arrange a new date to ensure that the parcel is delivered safely. Okay, not easy. Who writes these things? Okay, let's look at outlines then, guys. So we had, you will hear from the defence. So we've got you will, should be grouped. You can start the you on the writing line fair like so. You will. That's still absolutely fine. We have here from the should be grouped. Now, my shortcut for defence is DF, disjoin C. You can use that one. How is HW? James is JMS. We've got was. G-ing is going. Through is THR and U. A, V for very. Difficult is D down with FC, special outline. Then we have time. Note with through here, you can do THR and U if that's easier. I find the THR blend faster. Okay, so you will hear from the defence how James is going through a very difficult time at sentence one. Then we have, he had recently, so I've got he had recently, special outline. Lost LST. His is HS in the way of I indicator. Job we had. And was. Behind is BHND. On is ON blend. Mortgage, that would be MRGG. Payments, full A after a P, and then we've got ments. End of sentence. He has a young family, so we've got H for he. Note has, we pop that in the direction of A indicator, so has in his look different. We've got A. Young is Y in ung, family. Now, under, I write under, and also Joe writes under as a U indicator above the rest of the outline, so understand and so on. You will see in recent textbooks under being written like this, full UDR. It is quite long, again, up to you. I recommend writing under as a disjoined U indicator. So I would have under the age of 5. So I've got age, we could group age of, and then just circle 5. In fact, guys, I've missed half a sentence here. I'll just go back. He has a young family to support. The bit about being under 5 comes up later, sorry. So he has a young family. T for 2, support SPR, didn't carried away there. Including, so we're going to omit the N, comes ICLD-ing, so no N there. His wife, so we've got his again. Wife is WF inside. Who is WHO, we've got is. On. Long is Alan Ong. You can omit the Al and just use the Ong. Term is TRM. Sick, we've got S in K. Leave is LV. Long-term sick leave. And 3 children under the age of 5. Okay, so we've got and. 3 children under the age of 5. Now, I'm writing quite fast, so sometimes things get a little bit wobbly. Like, for example, you'll see that my circle there wasn't quite perfect. It's much easier writing with a shorthand. with a pencil and a shorthand pad on the screen, but just to make you aware, it is a little wobbly sometimes. Okay, so to backtrack here, so we have he had recently lost his job and was behind on mortgage payments. He has a young family to support, including his wife, who is on long-term sick leave, and 3 children under the age of 5. Now, for sick, if the K is a bit awkward, you can put S and C. You could actually group who is to make it look like whose. Remember to transcribe as 2 separate words. Okay, let's move on. So then we have, he was under a great deal of pressure. We can group he was, so HWS. And we can just do under A. So my G is looking a bit smaller. Great deal of pressure would be a PR theory and SR goes through. And for and, coming, CM-ing, close, CLS. T for 2, losing is LS-ing, his house. Again, just note that T's got a little bit more there as well. Okay, he has applied for numerous jobs. So he has applied as APL blending D for numerous as MR blending S. Quite a nice outline, that one. Jobs. But is BT. We've got has. We can group so far SOFR. Had. NO. Look. If you write look as Al and C, it's still okay. The K can be a little bit awkward. Okay, we're a minute in here. Next, we have, just to backtrack before we go further forward, so we have he was under a great deal of pressure and coming close to losing his house. He has applied for numerous jobs, but has so far had no luck. And now we have while I am sure. So with while, do you maintain the H? Otherwise it looks like will. While I am sure you will agree. Again, my agree's got a little bit messy there. That the circumstances, so we looked at that these and we looked at circumstances, are unfortunate, so are unfought. This is can be grouped. No, excuse XCS or stealing. So while I'm sure you will agree that these circumstances are unfortunate, this is no excuse for stealing. Quite hard, this, some really hard outlines. I hope that you reach your verdict of guilty. You can group I hope. So I've got the full I for I-H-O-P, I hope. We could group that you reaches R-C-H-A, V-R, disjoin D-C-D. Could group verdict of and guilty is just G-I. And set an example to others. They've got N for and, set ST, and is AN. Example is XMPL. You could group an example and do this, and cross up with the X. You could do that, an example. Okay. You could even slope your N to get clear at X. Now that could, well, does also say annex. Okay, but you wouldn't get an example and annex confusing context. So to make that faster, you could meld them together. For example, another way you can use example in grouping is this, for example, for X. Okay, so I'll leave it in full there for now. So I hope that you reach a verdict of guilty and set an example to others. That's T for 2, others should be O indicator, long T for THR, and then S. So you'll see there are always options how to write things. You can advance things slightly, and I'll always tell you the advanced ways to write things, but I will break it down also so you've got 2 options. It can be quite overwhelming sometimes. And of course, things like for example, an example, they won't come easy until you practice them. These things don't come natural until you give them a good old drilling. To quickly clear my screen, just give me one moment. Okay, so we're just gonna continue on. So we had all delivery drivers. This sentence was so long. I wrote this and I thought it was such a long sentence. So all delivery drivers, that's AL. Delivery is DLVRI. We've got DRVRS for drivers. Have now been told, so they've got a V for have, N for now, B for been. Told is TLD. I'll just get rid of that little line that I've got coming up here. Sorry. Have now been told that they must, so we can group that they, must MST. DL VR for deliver, we've got the parcel is PRC and then L. To the should be grouped ideally. Appropriate tough one, so we've got the AP, then we've got the P disjoined, and technically a T would go through for your PR there and the second P. Again, that shouldn't quite be touching, so we've got the AP next to it, the T goes through. If you want to maintain the R, you can, so it would be A, PR rule, and PR, T on top. You've got that option there. So to the appropriate apartment, and that is APRT, disjoined M for meant. And leave, so N for and, leave is LV. A. Missed is MSD. Delivery is DLVRI. Card is CRD, so you can't quite see the I there, put down. Card, if the person is not home, so we've got IF for if, we've got the. Person is PRSN. We've got is, not, in HM for home. End of sentence. Just to go back then, a long sentence. So all delivery drivers have now been told that they must deliver the parcel to the appropriate apartment and leave a missed delivery card if the person is not home. Then last one was they will be able to. So we discussed this grouping in the questions before. So they will be able to, then THN, arrange, we've got A, new is NW, date is D followed by T. To ensure it's just ESR, so omit the N, otherwise you have the awkward angle. So try and omit the N there. I'm just going to go, looks like ESure, ESR. To ensure that the parcel is delivered safely, so I've got that there again. Parcel we had. We've got is DLVRD for delivered. Safely, we've got S, FL, and then Y becomes I. So we've got safely. That's the end of passage. That was hard. I feel like these papers that deliver are always quite hard. I've not really written an easy one, but again, it's just good examples of everyday language, things you might come up against if you're reporting the courts, or even if you're doing an interview, anywhere that your job or T-line writing takes you. It's all good practice. So whether you're prepping for exams or whether you are just trying to get some extra speed work in, or perhaps refreshing your theory because you're perhaps a court reporter, already working in the industry, then hopefully you found that useful. Remember that, guys, from us at LLTT, don't get worried, we never get stressed. We keep on loving T-line together. See you soon, and thank you very much for your time. Any questions, you know where we are. Thank you, guys.